Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Am I visible? Can you hear me? Oh, my video is off.
Hi, can you see my screen? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you. What about me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Is the volume okay?
yes. What about your side?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So we're already recording. My name is Upendo Ntango. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse since 2017. Welcome to Millionaire Babe. Today I have Faith Joy Kiki, me. Faith, do you mind just introducing yourself to the audience?
Yeah, I'm Faith Joy Kiki, as you have heard. I'm a registered nurse in the US, currently in the state of Pennsylvania. I am also a registered nurse in Kenya, where I've been a registered nurse since 2014 May. To date, I'm still a registered nurse, even if I'm on this other side. I am.
Welcome, welcome. So some people may not know this, but actually some years ago, me and Faith were classmates at Kenya Methodist University. We were doing the bachelor's program in nursing. Can you tell us a bit more about your training there? Like, was it a 4-year program? Was it a 2-year program? What was it?
So basically, for me, after high school, I went straight to campus and did my degree. So when you do a direct degree without having to go through a diploma, it takes 4 years. Then you do 1 year of internship. So cumulatively was 5 years. Yeah. So by the time you're done with 5 years, you're ready for the market.
So, what made you decide to be a nurse?
Point number one, as I've always told many people who have asked me about my nursing journey, is it's a majority of my wanting to become a nurse originated from the fact that my mom is a nurse and that I had to grow up in an hospital environment for the majority of my life. So my initial goal of wanting to become a nurse was not because of the helping nature of the profession, but the element of wearing white. But with time and interacting with people and seeing what happens around, the helping aspect came in. So I wanted to join the career, not now this point for the white clothes, but now for the helping people, because I could see how my mom was selfless in meeting the needs of the people, and not all time was she able to do that. So my main aim was to join and try to help people specifically. That was my first motivation to joining nursing.
Awesome,
And it's
awesome.
actually, for me, I've not really stagnant with careers. It's something I wanted from the beginning. I actually wanted to become a doctor, but nursing was not very far from it. So I fell for whatever I needed, where I needed to be.
Awesome, awesome. So, how did you learn about nurses coming into the US?
So the first time I learned about nurses coming to the US was 2015. There's a lady I worked with was called Agnes, and she told me, hey, there's this agency that takes nurses in the US, and this is the procedure. I felt like, from the way she explained to me, like I did not qualify for that time, but I did try apply with a specific agency. I did all the exams, I passed them, and but they disqualified me at that point based on the facility I was working in. So they told me to try again after another year. I tried and after another year and switched facilities. One thing I see is that I am rich with experiences. I have shifted employers so many times. So the next time I applied with them again, I did not disqualify because I was in a different working environment and had not stayed there. So they told me to try again. Now this is in 2017, and I was naive enough to keep waiting and keep trying. Then sometime in 2019, when I decided now I cannot, the US dream seems so far away. I enrolled for masters in the University of Nairobi. During the interview, I met a very good friend of mine called Patrick. And Patrick told me, besides us doing these masters, are you interested in trying the American dream? I told him, yes, I was interested, but it's a bit complex. He told me, I'll show you the way out. Go and draw for CGFNS, I'll direct you. So from there, things started opening up. Now I started to do this as a private candidate. I enrolled for my CGFNS. CGFNS is a branch that verify your credentials from all the schools you went back in Kenya plus Nursing Council to make sure that it is equal to the level of education in the United States. So after submitting all these papers, I started borrowing revision materials for NCLEX. And in the process of borrowing, somebody asked me, why are you borrowing material? You do not have an agency to give you materials. I told them no. They told me, let me link you up with my agency. It's a good one. I told him I've tried 2 agencies so far, I've been disqualified. So your agency will disqualify me. He told me, just give it a trial. And he was right. I qualified and I started the journey with them.
Great, great. So can you describe your a journey? Like, how was it from when you got to the agency and when you arrived here in the US?
So basically the agencies work differently. There are over 15 or 20 of them that recruit for Kenya. So specifically for my agency, they require you, after you have submitted your resume and they have found that you qualify to work in their facilities here in the US, they ask you to do the English exam. And to say this is the only agency that requires you to have the IELTS before NCLEX. All other agencies will ask for it after NCLEX. I'm saying this so that people do not rush doing English exam, then start looking for agencies, because you start looking for agencies by the time you're getting an agency and start the process, the English exam has expired unless the agency has asked you to do it first. So when I got this agency and they went through my resume and told me you qualify to work with us, the next thing was to do the English exam. So I chose to go for the IELTS. So when you're doing the IELTS, there are two things. You can either train yourself if you feel competent in your English skills, or you can choose to get a trainer. Most Kenyans get trainers to walk through them through the entire exam. It's a bit complex exam if you do not understand it. For me personally, I chose to use a mirror and to train myself. So I trained myself for 2 weeks and went and passed the exam. It's that's me. Sometimes I'm a go-getter, so that one worked for me. But if you doubt your English capability, just get a trainer. There are so many people out there who train, and they do not charge a lot. So after the English exam, so I signed the contract with the agency, and they required me to pay a commitment fee of $200. After paying the commitment fee, they sent me the books. They opened for me the revision application called Kaplan that I use now for that. I started my pre-NCLEX journey. From there, doing exam, they'll monitor me from the other side. They'll tell me your grades here, you need to improve. We feel like you have a weakness in this area, you are strong in this area. So that is all about pre-NCLEX, and agency is for them guiding you and making sure you are ready for the NCLEX exam. Remember, our exams in Kenya are different. This is a computer adaptive exam, much more uses diligence to score you, not like the MCQs we do in Kenya. So it's something you need to be prepared for. So they prepared me for the exam, and when they were sure I was ready for the exam, they paid for my flight, my hotel, and also paid for the exam itself. It's a process to doing the exam. There's so many tidbits because you must have a board of nursing in one of the states in the US. So we understand a board of nursing then. So the agency did all that. So when people ask me to walk them through the agency, the board of nursing registration, I'm not able to, because for me, the agency carried the burden. So I chose to do my exam in South Africa. At that time, India was still under lockdown. That was in 2012. I went, did my exam and I passed. And when I passed, I came back to Kenya. and started the rest part of the journey. So that one may have looked like it's long, but now the rest of the journey is longer. So after NCLEX, there's what we call the I-140. I-140 is something we call is like the agency is asking permission from the United States to bring an alien worker to work as a nurse. So they did all that. The rest of the processes are there. There are so many of them. But to be brief, because not everybody was gone through this process, somebody might not understand or might think it's too complex. So after the 140 got approved, you get a welcome letter from the National Visa Center in the US. Then now you start submitting the documents of you and your family, wherever, all your family members, your marital status, birth certificate, passport. You all need to submit all those. Then you fill something called the DS-260. So this DS-260 is what now, the next thing after DS-260 is now being what we call case complete. So when you're filling the DS-260, you're filling all information about yourself, all your social media profiles, all the schools you went to, all the towns you have lived in since you were, I think, 16, and so many other personal details. That's when you fill that. Then you wait for around 5 weeks, then you get a letter saying that your case complete.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so after your case complete means you're documentarily completed with all the paperwork. You are now waiting for the embassy to give you a date for you to go for the interview. And during the filling of DS-260, there is some fee you pay, $345 for all your family members. So
Okay.
until this point, I have paid 200 commitment fee and 345 for the visa.
Okay. So who
Okay.
qualifies for these programs? I'm asking specifically, do you have to have a BSN? I have a master's, or do you have to have a certificate or diploma in nursing? Who qualifies?
Anybody with a diploma and above qualifies. Certificate, no. So the diploma in Kenya is the KRCHN, yes, and then of course the BSNs. They qualify. The other qualification is the facility you work in. Remember, nursing in the US is a bit high-tech. So they require you to be working in certain level of facilities that they feel have given you some experience that is almost equal to what you find in the US. So not all facilities qualify. If you're working in level 4 and below, you may need to move to a level 5 for a private facility for you to qualify.
Okay. So what challenges did you face in this journey?
The main challenge was the wait process. People already seen you with photos in South Africa. No, this girl is leaving anytime, and they're like, "Hey, when are you leaving? When are you leaving?" People become so impatient with you, as if, yeah. But also COVID came in, and so many things staggered. Like the embassy was working on minimum number of people, so you have an embassy date. You're not sure when you're gonna get them. You are ready for the embassy, but the only thing they do is every 3 months send you like an apology letter that if you have not given you a date this month, we'll get back to you in 60 days. And you keep waiting another 60 days, another apology. So the waiting period was one of the hardest thing, the biggest challenges. We used to call it taking patient pills because we needed to be patient for it to work. It was not easy. Yeah, the other thing, for many people, I would not say for myself, could be finances. If you have a family of 4 people or 5 people, and you need to pay like something like the visa fee, the 345, which could amount to 40,000 per person, and you have 5 members of your family, 200 could be a challenge. So you might need to start saving early. For me, it wasn't a hard thing. I was working. So, but generally, it's not an expensive process if you get an agency to walk you through it.
Okay. Do you have any other advice for nurses back in Kenya maybe who want to come here?
Yeah, it is greener here. Depending on where you work in Kenya, some people it's great. They feel like it's greener there. If you do not love your sleep so well, it is a good place for you. Generally, the place is motivating. The fact that you can able to deliver services with all resources available. This is an environment where you will not have to improvise. You know, Kenya, we are known as the gurus of improvisation. This system has no improvisation. Anything you need is there for you. When you're doing NCLEX, they tell you there's nothing that you will ever lack. Don't talk about short staffing. It is the thing here. Everything is there. The way the exam is, every resource that is said to be there in the exam is there in practical. So you will feel so comfortable delivering services in an environment that is as sufficiency. Let me say that. And at the end of the day, you feel happy that I gave my best. I did not lack this and this, so I did not, you won't say that I did not give my best because I lacked A, B, C, D. You got everything you needed, so you just deliver it. The best service you can do. The other challenge, I think, on the ground is adapting to the system. Depending on where you worked in Kenya, it can be quite a challenge. Some people have made it, others have not made it to adopt to the system, especially if you go to a big facility. Some people have at some point have to move to smaller facilities. So it is personal. So when an agency tells you they want a person from this facility, they know why they say that, because some people live of the facilities, uh, they do not bump up their skills. So when they come here, the system doesn't work for them. But the system is friendly for the young people. If it is a good system, just come and exploit if you can.
Well, to be honest, I think everyone should try their luck. You know, in life, it's just about trying, really. There's no guarantee of success, but you'll never know if you don't try.
Yeah, you never know if you don't try. And the NCLEX is not as hard as that. If you prepared well, you're going to sail through. If you fail the first time, you can do the second time, the third time. There are people who have done NCLEX 5 times. I have friends who passed on the third or the fourth attempt. So if you fail the first time, you wake up, dust yourself, and move.
Yeah, but you're a smart girl. I know you passed on your first try.
Definitely.
Yeah, I remember you well. You don't play.
I don't play. I told myself if I never repeated anything back in chemo, especially pharmacology, then I would not have to fail any other exam in life. That was the hardest thing I would ever have to do, but I have sailed through that. I coached myself English on the mirror after my daughter told me you're very poor in English, and I passed. So yeah, I'm not bragging, but you need to know yourself and know what works for you.
Oh, you just said something funny. Pharmacology. Oh my God. We'll we'll not mention the teacher, but yeah, very mem
Yeah, pharmacology in chem wasn't a walk in the park, but we managed. We went past that. I hope Mr. is not who won't watch this and say that we talked about him on screen.
You know, I actually remember up to this day when I walked out of the exam, he was standing at the door and he's looked at me and he's like, "How was it?" I said, "God, I want to die. I want to cry."
And that exam, I sat next to you and he asked me, how was the exam? I told him it was the best, it was balanced, it was good. I knew I wrote nothing, but I used to tell my students sometimes back that comment saved me from repeating that exam, because I think all the other students repeated, a bunch of students repeated. I did not repeat because I told him the exam was good and I actually think I'm going to pass. Definitely that exam, I don't know what I wrote, but I passed. Yeah,
Yeah,
anyway, it's
yeah,
live.
we both passed, I remember, but
Yeah, we both passed that one, but there are so many people who repeated that exam. A bunch of them.
but honestly, looking back, I think he did a phenomenal job. I mean, he put you through
Good
much
job, sure.
stress. You can never fail a pharmacology exam wherever you go.
Definitely. The drugs come keep tickling. You just remember him going through the topics and it's easier for you.
Yeah, because we're reading for that exam. I think we read for it for like 2 weeks. Nothing. Reading nothing else.
Doesn't stick. Right now, you can sing all the amitriptyline and all the antibiotics. I remember there was amitriptyline in that exam, and I don't know what I wrote. But anyway, it is well. We are past that. That's water past the bridge now.
Baptism by fire.
Oh yeah. So the Kenyan education is good. It really prepares you adequately. If only you are serious, it prepares you adequately. And the system themselves in Kenya, the fact that things are not so smooth in Kenya, you're used to working with the hardest staff in tough situations. When you come here, it becomes so easy. Yeah, the only challenge that will come if you are used to getting to work and especially those who work in government facilities, you get to work and if there's no work, you sleep. Unfortunately, here you're on your feet for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So if you love your sleep, this system might not favor you so much unless you have to work a day job. But most of us do night shift. But yeah, that's it. So it is a good place to work. You just come. We are smiling and laughing and making jokes because we know where we have come from and how much it has prepared us to be where we are right now, excelling in a new land.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, Faith, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate, and we'll probably have another session, probably in the next week or so. We'll definitely keep you updated. Of course,
Right.
has to be flexible for both our schedules.
Sure, I know.
From night shift nurse to night shift nurse.
Oh, yeah. And all the snoozing. I can't wait to go and just snooze for the next 3 or 4 hours, then wake up.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Oh,
Most welcome. Thank you for having me.
you're welcome, dear. Okay, bye.
Bye.